Hey chess fans, what's up? So a lot of you guys may remember this game from earlier in the match. I believe it was game 11. This position, I think it was the exact same position, came up. And we were talking about how Lasker felt he had the edge in the queenless middle games, which was sort of proven in this match. So this happened again, b4, rook d8, king e2. Now last time, somehow it's working better for black, because I don't remember rook d8 wasn't happening last time. And last time he went bishop to b6, but this time his bishop went to f8. And this is so much better because now if the bishop comes to d7, it can come to e8 without blocking the rook. And the last time they played in game 11, the rook got stuck on f8. So I think Steinitz did a better job this time around. Bishop b2 was played, bishop to d7, rook d1, rook a to c8. And the position looks pretty even. And don't forget, Lasker just needs one more win to be crowned the second world champion ever. Bishop b3, knight to e7, going for some squares on d5 or f5. Knight to d4, knight to g6, rook d2, just maybe he'll double the rook somewhere. e5, opening up the bishop, knight f3. Now, what move would you play here for black? So, this is not really something you need to pause your video and solve. But basically, black played the move bishop to g4. At which point, white played rook takes, and h3. So first question, is h3 a good move or a bad move? h3 looks risky, because if bishop takes knight, king takes, the rook may get down to the second rank. Whereas if pawn takes, the pawn structure is ruined. However, Lasker understood this position better than Steinitz. The position is pretty open here. This bishop is pretty strong, and white has the two bishops. That means a lot more in this position than these pawns. They're not very easy to attack, and in my opinion, white just has a clear advantage now. This idea of bishop g4 and bishop takes f3, not very good. Something better might have been maybe just bishop c6, or I don't know, just any kind of move that doesn't trade this bishop for this knight. I just don't like it at all. That's what he did though. h3 takes, she takes, bishop e7, rook to c1, natural move, going for that open c file, king f8, knight a4. He wants to go maybe rook c7, maybe knight c5. Black goes b6, and his idea is if rook c7, rook d7, and rook d8. So Lasker didn't want that. He actually brought the knight back after b6. And his plan was after bishop to d6. First, he didn't go knight b5, because bishop b8 defends everything. First, he pinned the bishop. If bishop c7 here, white has a strong move. Take and knight b5. And if we push this pawn, knight d6 attacks this. There's no way to defend it because knight h8, and we win the e-pawn. So, what does black do? He didn't really know. He played knight e8. And now white went knight to b5 and rook to d7. So it looks like everything's kind of defended now, although white can always go knight takes bishop and get the two bishops versus two knights advantage, which is pretty significant. I would like you guys to pause your video and try to think about what you would do here if you were white. Lasker played, in my opinion, a very strong move. It's always nice, like the bishop on d6 is pinned, but it's not so clear how to increase the pressure. But Lasker found a really nice way, a maneuver. A maneuver is just kind of maneuvering a piece to a better square, and especially a square where it can cause havoc in your opponent's position. I can understand how this move might look interesting, but after a6, knight takes, rook takes, black is not losing. The really strong move that Lasker played, I like this move a lot, bishop to c2. The idea is simply to go bishop to f5. And if this knight tries to stop it, Well, now notice this rook is not defended. This pawn is only defended by the bishop. So bishop e5 is a winning move. Bishop c2 is a very strong type of move. And after this, black's defenses broke very quickly. King e7, bishop f5. If the rook goes this way, we can go bishop to c... Oh, no, we can't. What do we do here? Maybe we can. No, we go bishop e4, of course. Rook b8, knight takes. And if rook d7, bishop c6. If the rook goes back, we can just take on a7. So, first of all, king e7 was not the best defensive try, but his position was pretty bad anyway. And after bishop f5, he played the move a6, which is totally hopeless. White simply captured the rook. And after king takes, knight c3, White's up the exchange, and he won very easily from this point forward and became the second world champion. So, what do we say about Lasker after this match? I think he showed just a clear improvement on the style and strength of chess player that we'd seen before. First of all, his technique in certain endgames was at levels above Steinitz. The way he was beating him in these endgames, this is like how you see grandmasters beat just children in endgames, like just toying with him almost. So it was clear that these types of simple positions, where there's not much action, but maybe Lasker has some tiny, tiny edge, Steinitz had almost no chance to defend against him in these games. So I really liked those games. My favorite were the stretch from 9, 10, and 11, and this game. Those four I really liked because they're all these kind of nice technical endgames where Lasker just totally outplays Steinitz. The next World Championship match actually is a rematch between these two. But before we get to that, I believe we're going to be looking at some tournaments now. A lot of strong tournaments start coming into play where Lasker plays, Pillsbury, all these top guys, and there's a lot of key and interesting moments in those tournaments. So we're going to look at those next, and I think you guys will like them. I believe the next on the list is Hastings, 1894, but you'll find out tomorrow. I'll know for sure then. I have not even looked into it yet. But thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this match. This was my favorite of all the matches we've looked at so far, just because I feel like now we're seeing a real modern-day chess player in Lasker. Like, I just think he was levels and levels above Steinitz and everyone else who came before him. All right, thanks again. I'll see you tomorrow with a new series. Bye-bye.